right behind him throwing and watching the receivers. He had an outstanding pro day. This thing is surprising. It's there's nothing that ever takes place during this period of time that surprises you. Last year, you know, we had a plan B, you know, quarterback, and shoot, we thought second round, and he went. I think we all are surprised, and yet the talent. Holy cow! I mean, I think you would, if you're a team that needs a quarterback, and I mean, we kind of know at the start of the draft who those teams are, but you're getting. Now again, I saw him when he was in junior high. Then I saw him when he was in high school. And then I saw him when he was a sophomore in high school come practice on their way to Florida. And so I've had a chance, I've known Dion, and I felt like I grew up watching him play. And he's gonna, like, there'll be this chip on his shoulder, and beware, because this guy's going to play in this league. And but I think it's hard for any of us to explain what other people are looking for. We focus on what we're looking for, and yeah, I mean, I think it's surprising.
What's up with the YouTubians? Listen, we are 2 days into the NFL draft, and to a lot of our surprise, Shedeur Sanders has not been drafted, and a lot of people are up in arms and they feel a way about it. And personally, I understand, because I look at the kid talent and I see a first-round draft pick. I see a quarterback that's worthy to be taken. You know, unfortunately, he hasn't been drafted, and it's for, you know, a few reasons. And one of those reasons is the fact that a lot of teams have a bias against him because of maybe his personality and who his father is. And they probably feel like that Dion will have a stronger voice in his head than the coaches or the owners might have. And they don't want to deal with that. But I also saw this narrative on Facebook, and me and my friends, we had a conversation about it. This narrative story going around that the NFL has colluded to humble Shedeur Sanders. And I disagree with that. I disagree with that. Because if a team deem his talent worth it, they'll deal with whatever headache come with him. They just don't think his talent is worth, you know what I'm saying, those extra issues. They don't believe in his talent the way that we do. You know what I'm saying? They just don't. There's teams that have never had a franchise quarterback ever. They wouldn't miss that opportunity. They wouldn't go out their way to agree, let's punish this kid, you know what I'm saying, to show him, to break him, if they thought that this is a guy that could change our franchise. They just obviously don't believe that. And the reason why I say that is because this guy's in a league that have done some horrible things. There's a wide receiver for the Miami Dolphins that has like $120, $30 million contract that literally stumped his baby mama in her stomach while she was pregnant in college. There's a starting quarterback in the NFC South that had a drunken rage, beat somebody up, and fought police and ran in college. Like, there's people who are accused of RAPEs. You know what I'm saying? Sexual assaults, domestic violence, been in shootouts. You know, Big U, who just in a rolling 60 indictment in LA. His son is in the NFL. If the league deems your talent worth it, they'll deal with whatever comes with it. The problem with Shedeur is a lot of people don't want to have this conversation, but the truth of the matter is he's a black pocket passer. Pocket passers are really not in style that much anymore, but the fact that he's black and a pocket passer, that's a knock against him. If he would have went to the combine and ran 4.5, 4.6, they would have drafted Shedeur in that first round. They wouldn't have gave a damn about none of that. I guarantee you they wouldn't have. Hell, Jalen Monroe got drafted yesterday, and he can't hit the broadside of a barn. Shedeur is the most accurate quarterback in this draft. They didn't care. They looked at Jalen Monroe and they said, listen, he's going to be the only quarterback in the NFL faster than Lamar Jackson, and he has a cannon. That's all they looked at. No matter the fact that he can't complete a passing tree. You know what I'm saying? They didn't care about none of that. So even though Shedeur is intelligent, even though Shedeur is very accurate, he's undersized, average arm, black pocket passer. And they think his dad is going to be, you know what I'm saying, a helicopter dad, bigger in his ear than other players would. They're holding that against him. They're holding it against him. But if they believe that his talent was worth it, they wouldn't care about none of that. Like I said, they got people who have done horrible things in the NFL. They are not colluding or going out their way to punish this one kid. This one kid. If they truly believe that he could change their franchise forever. And on the flip side, I'm gonna take a look. I'm gonna say it like this. Listen, do we want Shedeur in Cleveland? What quarterback has been developed in Cleveland? What black quarterback has went to Cleveland and been good? Do we want him with the Jets? What quarterback have they developed? You know what I'm saying? Do we want him even with the Giants? We don't want Shedeur there. Let him go to a dome. Let him go to someplace warm. Let this be a chip on his shoulder. Joe Montana wasn't drafted to the 3rd round. Drew Brees drafted in the 2nd round. Dak Prescott, Kirk Cousins, 4th round. Tom Brady, 6th round. Petty, 6th, 7th round. Like, let this be a chip on your shoulder. Tom Brady, one of his mentors. Let that drive you, let that flame get in your belly and ignite that fire in you so big and so strong, and decide that you'll never let somebody play you like this again. And whoever you sign with, hopefully you go to a good spot where you can sit and watch somebody for maybe a year, get the playbook down, you know what I'm saying? Get your feet work a little bit more together, so when it's your time to play, you can shine. And then when your 4 years up, hit them over the head like Dak Prescott did us. Listen, I'll be pissed off that Dak be trying to max out them contracts when they come up. But do it like Dak. You know what I'm saying? Like let that fire burn in you. Let it ignite. You know, I'm sad for you, but just honestly, like I have to look at it that way. Those few teams that needed a quarterback, because not every team passed on Shedeur. Like 6, 7 niggas drafted a quarterback last year in the 1st round. Not every team passed on Shedeur. It's just a few teams that needed a quarterback that decided that his talent wasn't worth the preconceived trouble that they think might come. Whether that's founded or unfounded. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what Shedeur went to the combine and said in those interviews. Whatever he said, it rubbed people the wrong way. And like I said, the fact that he chose not to throw and he didn't run, you know, if you black and you get out there, like I said, and you run that 4.3, 4.4, 4.5, they'll draft you. They wouldn't care that you can't throw. Look at Richardson for the Colts. Won't care that you ain't accurate at all. Wouldn't give a damn. But yeah, I hope this is fuel to the fire of Shedeur Sanders. And he does like he did here in Dallas when he played for the private school in Cedar Hill. Show out. Like he did at the HBCU. Show out. Like he did when he went to Colorado and they thought he wasn't going to do nothing with the Big 12. Show out, Shedeur. Show out. Me and my homeboy was just on the phone and he was like, man, I know when he got away from people, he went in the room by himself. He went back there and cried. I'm sure he did. I would have. And I would have said to myself, I'll never let somebody put me in the same position again. I'll never be in a situation where somebody can do me like this again. Ever. Ever. This can either make or break Shedeur Sanders. You know what I'm saying? This can either make or break him. But playing that victim card, you know, our community, we play that victim card very well. We really do. We really do. We so used to being victimized that we find victimhood in everything. And in this situation, just the truth of the matter is that, like I said, they don't value his talent the same way some of us did. And a lot of us got caught up with projections and we think, oh, he deserved to be this. Listen, Jalen Milroe was projected to be the #1 pick in this draft a couple of years ago. Quinn Ewers was projected to be that. Will Howard, a lot of these guys have had that projection and they didn't get drafted in the 1st round of #1 overall. Quinn Ewers ain't been drafted yet either. And he was the #1 quarterback for this class in high school. Shedeur was like a 3-star. Shedeur has outplayed and outshined what they thought he was going to be ever since he was in high school. He just got to do it again. He just got to do it again. And when it's time for him to get that second contract, he got to bust him over the head. You hear me? That's my opinion, though, man. I hope Shedeur, you know, I hope he don't let this break him. I hope he, you know what I'm saying, I hope he gets strong about it and he, you know, his resolve sets in. And that even some of the future kids, you know, because we have to take accountability. You know, Deion is a problem. He's not a problem to me. I don't find no issue in Deion. But I'm saying they preconceive Deion as a problem. But on top of that, whatever Shedeur went in those interviews and said, he rubbed people the wrong way. He just did. And it's sad that we got to have that conversation sometimes, that as a black man, sometimes you have to tone down yourself a little bit. Look at Cam Newton. Cam Newton is good enough to still be a backup quarterback in the NFL. But his Cam Newton personality and everything else that come with Cam Newton made people feel like, you know what, we might as well not even deal with Cam. Just go get somebody else. He's not as good as he used to be. When he was Superman, when he was flying over the pile and dancing up, he was worth it. Once Cam Newton lost a couple of steps and his arm wasn't as live as it was, teams didn't deem him as worthy no more. Junior.